Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Monogatari of and Monster Season episode number 12 reaction. So the previous episode we got to know why Aragi got dragged to heaven instead of hell and why there was Princess Acerola over there. So basically she kind of explains how it's kind of similar to when Shinobu became kiss shot from Princess Acerola. She left like that part of her. She kind of like got detached from it, and that's why that went to heaven. That whole explanation she kind of gave, and she also said why she dragged Aragi to heaven instead of hell is because she has something that only Dystopia is going to consume. That is herself, her blood or anything. So basically she kind of gave Aragi her own saliva, which Aragi came back and fed it to Dystopia. Now Dystopia will be fine, but it'll take her a while to come back to her, like to awaken. And while all of that is going on, Gain has brought no new information, a new code to crack, and it's pretty obvious by now Dystopia isn't the one who is like doing this whole situation. She's not she's not doing this. Basically someone is pinning the blame on her and going on a rampage. So all these new developments happened. So now Aragi is on his way to I think that she's going to that girl, her friend, to help crack the code. And yeah, let's see what happens. So let us begin episode 12. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. That was cool. Hmm. Until this moment. Oh, because he brought it up. Okay. Yeah, what will you do? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, she's a true one, like an actual one. Hmm. What? I see. I'm sure Arag is fine with it. I don't think he cares who's the slave. Yeah. Oh boy. But I don't know. I feel like Virtuoso will look through her lies. She's pretty smart. Oh. Shinobu eating donuts. All right, part 4. Yeah. Secure the second slip. What? She's gonna smack you. Fail to. Ah, there you go. There she is. Mm. All right, here we go. This one's a big one. Yeah. Yeah, is there any particular reason why it's a cell phone? Yeah. I guess that's something to do with prime numbers. Crazy. I see. Probably not. If see. What? Hmm. Something of that nature. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. We have to find it. Well. Oh, okay. It was different. Natural. Oh. That's why. Yeah. Simple degrees. Yeah. Oh, those are degrees. Oh, the degrees. Okay. But how does that translate to Fahrenheit and Celsius? Oh, high and low temperature. I see. Hmm. Yeah, like how did she think of this? Yeah. So it's the criminal who did. Yeah, I understood that. Oh. Okay. Well. Oh. That is some crazy amount of. Oh. That's true. Yeah, they did couldn't look. I think I said this. Okay, what have you found out? Yeah. Hmm. Okay. I see. So that's what happened. No, but she has an alibi. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can say that, but did that really happen? Or maybe something else happened? And there you go. Hmm. What? Oh, okay, that's not good. So this. Oh no. Yeah, so they have a like a history. Clump of righteousness. Hmm. Right. Abbreviation FC. FC. What? No. Fan club. Okay, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah. Maybe they're part of the fan club. Yeah. Conversor. What? Hmm. Okay. Oh, not the Phoenix. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Right. No, he's asleep. Still in midair. Sensei? Hmm. Wow. Hmm. Yeah. Damn, the sand is falling. Damn, crazy. Hmm. Oh. Moonfire? Oh, because Suki Moon. Yeah. True. Hmm. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why everyone is like, but they cannot do it. They cannot bring out that transporting an ancient. Hmm. That is true. Oh, is she awake? Who's calling? Is this Senjo Gahara or something? Oh no, it's related to the okay. Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, but we won't get any more clues. Oh. Huh. She's awake. Or is it nice? Oh. All these people are the alumni? Okay. Damn, she's in the middle of. Oh, Shinobu's here. Is that sake or something? Yep. Wow. All right, here we go. Lady Shinobu. Hey, hello? I think she's awake. She literally heard that. Oh, well, hmm, damn. All the light novel covers. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, in a matter of few years, it changed completely. Hmm. Yeah, I guess, but hmm. Hmm. I don't. Okay, yeah. In Kizumonogatari, yeah. Oh. What type of reincarnation? Oh. Oh, damn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait, is she growing? I think so. Damn. I think this is the first time I've seen guy in sweat. Oh. Okay. Oh, she's not Kaka, but haha. Well, she's genuinely happy. Damn. Crazy. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Right. Okay, yeah, so she wasn't awake. Like that, in the car, she was kind of nodding. I was like, Is she awake or something? No, that was just the car because the car was moving. She was being, you know. Okay, well, she's awake now. Hmm. Is that it? Yeah, and that was today's episode. Okay, so we were finally able to bring back Dystopia Virtuoso Suicide Master. And yes, the reunion after 600 years. So today's episode basically was Aragi going to his friend and breaking and or decoding that code, and not only that, the whole like initial FC, that whole thing that was going on, and now finally we are here to awaken Dystopia from her slumber, and finally we did that. Both of them laughed, and yeah, it's been a long time, so there you go. So a few things to talk about in today's episode. First and foremost, um, the whole what do you call it, the code. So okay, I still don't understand. So that code was basically Fahrenheit and Celsius, and then like there was that whole FC like fan club, but then they found that there's also the fact that they thought that maybe this is someone's initials, but turns out that wasn't also the case. So that whole situation, I think it kind of like like kind of that whole investigation kind of had to be stopped midway because they weren't able to find anyone. That is the fifth victim, they weren't able to find it. So they came to the conclusion that there's no vampires in there, but like that part kind of confused me. So I'm guessing we're kind of in a stalemate now. Unless until we talk to Dystopia, we won't be able to further get any clues. Now that Dystopia is awake, I'm sure she can like enlighten us with a few things. Maybe what happened. Was this really because she was not feeding, that's why she went into this like state, or did someone attack her? Like what happened? Like all these questions we can ask her, and stuff like that. Also maybe things like why is someone like, because it's true like that this whole situation kind of makes us think that there's someone trying to pin the blame on her and keep kind of writing her name as a message for beside one of two of the victims. Why would someone do that? They kind of established in the previous episode that someone is probably doing this to go on a rampage and pin the blame on Dystopia. So who would be this someone that is pinning the blame on her? All these questions. Yeah, maybe we will get a little bit of a clue while after we talk to Dystopia. So stuff like that. But yeah, like that whole investigation kind of went like kind of just stopped midway, because I guess we don't have any other clue now, because Aragi went to Karen as well to ask about the fan club, but Karen is like, no, the fan club is not really there anymore. Like maybe like everyone just forgot about that whole like fell out of love or something. Like that's why they just left. And as she said, that's basically what happens with fan clubs. But and that is the reality. So that whole FC being fan club, like that's also kind of in a stalemate. So yeah, all those things. So there you go. That's what's going on with the investigation for now, at least. Um, yeah. Now another thing that happened in today's episode is that oh, it was established that not Kanbai, sorry, Kagenui has a personal grudge against Dystopia. So this is like some kind of personal like something like is going on between those two. So like even if we are able to like prove that Dystopia isn't harmless, maybe like even someone who, as Arai says, who is a clump of righteousness like Kagenui, might also might not actually fall for that, and because of her personal grudge she might actually not listen to us and try to attack Dystopia. So I'm guessing this whole grudge, I'm assuming, is maybe because like she is someone who specializes in immortal beings. I'm sure she went and picked a fight with Dystopia someday, and Dystopia probably fought her and defeated her or something. I don't know, something like that maybe happened, and that's why she holds a grudge against her or something. I don't know. We'll get to know that way after Kaganui comes in, I'm assuming. um yeah, but either way, that's also another thing we got to know today. um Okay, so yeah, that was that. And then after that, we also had another thing, which is Shinobu asking Aragi and telling him that, oh, like, it's been a while. Like, I kind of don't want to, like, can I please, like, switch roles for today only? Like, instead of me being under you, you be under me. And, something like that. Because, it's been a while. I don't want to like go in front of Dystopia in this way. And yeah, so something like that, like a personal pride kind of thing. Also Dystopia's views on her, stuff like that. So yeah, Arag is fine with it, obviously. Like Arag cares about who's under who. He literally doesn't care. But either way, he the other thing was also they kind of came to an agreement with. Yeah, so they're having a bit trouble to kind of address each other, because obviously, like, like the way they like interact with each other, they have been interacting with each other in one way, and now suddenly if you have to reverse that, it's a bit difficult. So Shinobu was kind of messing up, Aru was kind of messing up, but yeah. Either way, that was that. Also, the final scene, we can see both of them laugh with ha 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 instead of ka ka ka. And if you remember, like they said in one of the previous episode, that Dystopia said that when you are genuinely happy, you should like laugh with a ha ha ha, that whole thing. And yeah, and that's what happened today. In the end, both of them laughed. And they're like, 600 years, it's been a while, huh? Right. Okay. And there you go. So that's what happened. So I'm sure we'll get more information in the next episode, like more clues as to what's going on from Dystopia in the next episode. And I don't know what's going to happen after that. I'm guessing we'll probably try to stop this person, whoever's like making problem for us. And not only that, Kagenu is also coming, so that is also another thing we need to think about. Also, what will happen to Dystopia? Like, like her like finale. Like, will we be able to like convince Kagenui that, oh, she's like, I guess the guy did say that even if we're able to convince her that she's harmless, it doesn't matter. She has a personal grudge. So like that whole thing as well. Like, what we'll be able to do regarding that problem. Maybe we'll see that as well. So I don't know how many episodes we have. I think that it was 14 episodes or something, or was it 16 episodes for this season? So this is episode 12. So I think it was 14. I'm not 100% sure. So we still have a few more episodes left after this. So I'm guessing we'll see all of that in those few episodes. Like, I cannot remember. I think they kind of, what? Let me check. Monogatari of Monogatari of Monster. How many episodes. 16. Oh. Or no, 14. No, 14, I think. Not 16. Yeah, you know what? We don't know. That's in one place it's written 16, in one place it's written 14. I think it's probably 14. I don't think it'll be 16 because if it's 16, then it's going to get like dragged a lot. Like for example, now it's like the beginning of fall 2024, so it's already like like the first week of fall 2024, and today we had the 12th episode. So if it's 14 episodes, then we'll have two more episodes. That means 2 more weeks. Like yeah, so I don't think it'll be 16. Otherwise, yeah, I I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, but as far as I know, this will have another cour after this. Like I don't know. I think so. Like this is the first cour, and then we'll have another cour, which will probably take a break, like maybe like 3 months break or maybe 6 months break, and then Monogatari will be back again. So then I think they'll cover like the rest of the monster season or something like that maybe. So other stuff are coming later, but this season I think it'll be 14 episodes. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, so that was the end of today's episode. So yeah, there you go. Next episode should be exciting because finally Dystopia will speak, and I'm very curious to see how she's going to react to a lot of things. First and foremost, Shinobu's whole situation, Araragi, and all the other stuff. We'll see. Okay, and that was that. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, you can see right. So you can see Araragi when he was going, like in a car through a tunnel. Shinobu comes in, and Araragi says here that, oh, like I was just thinking, like since Dystopia's here, will you like I hope you don't like think of weird stuff like like what did he say, like letting her feed on you or something. Yeah, like being eaten by Suicide Master. So Shinobu laughs, and Shinobu's like, huh, what are you saying? This is something I never even thought of unless and until you mention it now. Yeah, so she's like, no, like don't think of stuff like that. That won't happen. Um, yeah, so this is why Ari also says, like, if you want, I can steer the conversation and make Suicide Master considered as harmless. So, then she'll be fine here if you want that. But yeah, but Shinobu's like, no, like that wouldn't really work. I'm different. I wasn't really a vampire from the beginning. I became vampire later on. She's the real deal. She's an actual vampire. So I don't think she will appreciate something like that. It's just an insult to a true vampire, something like that. Like I can understand. Like vampires are obviously like like prideful beings. So something like this is like an insult to them. So yeah, it makes sense. And Shinobu says like, I'm different. I was born a human. I don't have a problem with this whole situation though. Yeah, so like it is true, I guess, because if you think about it, the situation that Shinobu is in here now, like with the whole Araragi being his like her like master or whatever, like, and her being under Araragi's care and all that, it's only possible because it's Shinobu, because Shinobu wasn't a vampire from the very beginning. You think if the similar situation happened with Aragi, and instead of Shinobu, in Shinobu's place, there was Virtuoso Suicide Master, Dystopia, you think she'd do the same? She'd probably say that kill me first. I don't want to, like, I don't want to, like, live my life in humiliation like this. And she probably would kill herself in that case. But I guess she's a vampire. She couldn't kill herself. I don't know what she would do, but she definitely wouldn't be okay with this. I at least I don't see her being okay with something like this because she's a true vampire, unlike Shinobu. But yeah, that's why Shinobu's like, no, like, don't do any of that. So this is where Shinobu also says, like, can I ask you something? Today only, like, can we just switch our roles? I want to act tough in front of an old buddy of mine who I haven't seen in 600 years. So, is it okay for tonight? Can we say that I'm not your slave, but you are my slave? Yeah, and there you go. Like, I'm pretty sure Aragi said, like, yeah, fine, I don't have any problem with that. Aragi calls Kanbar and say, oh, I'm sorry, but can you be my slave for a bit? Kanbar's like, yeah, sure, why not? That's obviously because it's Kanbaru. And he also says, lend me your house for tonight. Got it. In 7 seconds only. Secured the second slave. Wow. And then he calls Oikura. I was baffled here because I was like, Oikura really, like, after all that happened with you two, and she almost like, yeah, okay, right. And he's like, can you be my slave for tonight and make some handmade food? Okura's like, don't assume you survive the night. 7 seconds again. Failed to secure the Thursday. Anyways, all that joking aside, Aragi goes to his friend again. Yeah, and he's like, oh, new code. And she sees the code and she's like, interesting. This time it's only numbers. And she kind of again highlights this whole thing that it's on a cell phone. Maybe that implies something. Yeah. Okay, so she says like a cell phone is like part of her brain, but I'm not sure if there's any meaning behind it. Aragi says, okay. Yeah, so she's like, I've already decoded it, easy. And Aragi's like, wait, what? You already did it? Like, what? So in the end, she says this time it's FC. That's the decoded code. Okay, so then Aragi goes to Gain and tells her the whole thing. So Gain says FCR also initiates the question is whether or not member of the basketball girls team is actually that. Okay. Yeah, so she tells that obviously everyone has like matching like straps, which also has like their initials in it. So maybe this was like the victim trying to indicate like someone's initials and something like that they're doing. Right, so okay, here I need to read this section. Okay, so here we go. This is where Aragi says like, wait a minute. So as you're saying, if the initials is someone from one of the girls in the basketball club, and we are trying to find the vampire who's doing it, then that would mean that the person this is pointing to is someone from the basketball club. So are you trying to say that the vampire is actually part of the basketball girls club? Which is obviously that's what it's indicating at now. That whole FC thing. Okay, so Guy says she may be trying to write down the name of a friend who sprung into mind as her consciousness faded. I don't think so. Who? Why? At that point of time? Right. This may be camouflage disguised to make us think that way. That might be true. Maybe this is just all a trap. There's also a chance that this was camouflage created by Suicide Master. Right, a vampire being one of the team members is way too unexpected to be the truth. Yeah, but Guy says like, no, I'm not really saying that you're wrong. There is a possibility what you're saying is true. Okay, so here she says use a wave of humans to steamroll through it all. For someone who have the initials FC sounds a bit of rare. So even among the 100 girls basketball team members, we should be able to pare it down to a few of them. Okay, can you tell me something, Koyomi? How was the code deciphered? Okay, so here I need to read this part a little bit again because I did understand the whole Fahrenheit and the Celsius part. But okay, so Guy obviously asked like, how did you get FC? Like, there's so many letters here. Like, what's going on? Like, why FC? So Aragi says like, oh, it was different. This was not really maths, but it's more in the science field. You can say. And Guy is like, why is it FC? So 820, 280, 510, and 160. How is it FC? So Aragi says for Celsius and Fahrenheit, you have the symbol that represent degrees. So the 0 in this case is degrees. So 58 degree, and all the other degrees. So Yeah, so 828, 82 degree, 28 is 28 degree, like that. Now, so then they say that it's like how in weather forecast they kind of say like the higher temperature and the lower temperature with a slash in the middle. Basically, that is what was going on. So that's why FC is a decrypted phrase for that code. Oh, wait a minute. One thing I need to understand. So I guess like I can understand. So because it was written like that, it amounts like it is decoded to FC, and like so. But this is such a weird thing. Who would think of something weird like this? Like write some random numbers, and so this is also mean that there's no connection between like F/C. Wait, one thing. I need to check something. 28 and 16. 28 degree. Yeah, okay. Wait a minute. What is the code? 82 no, 6116 FC 61. Oh my god. Right. 61. Yeah, 61 Fahrenheit degree Fahrenheit is equal to 16 degrees Celsius. Okay, 82 and 28. Let me check. 82. 82 is 27.7 means 28. Okay, now this makes more sense. I was thinking like why would someone even think this is Fahrenheit and Celsius if these are random numbers? No, they're not random numbers. 82 and 28. So 82 degree Fahrenheit is 20 degrees Celsius. So automatically that is indicating that this is Fahrenheit and Celsius, so F and C. Okay, now it makes more sense. Now I understand it better. But like I said, who even thinks of this? Like what, like what you looking at a few numbers like this, you think of Fahrenheit and Celsius. Also, the Aragi's friend, like what type of mental gymnastics goes on through her head? She immediately looked at it and she's like, oh, this is Fahrenheit and Celsius. What? Nah, man, this is some crazy things are going on here. Like, how can she come to that conclusion that quickly? Like, who thinks of that? Even Guyan says that. Guyan says like, what type of friend like you, like who that found this out this quickly? Here we go. She says, I'm surprised they came up with something like this. Arik says, yes, checking the high and low temperatures each day. Maybe natural for some in an athletic set. But Guyan is like, no, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about your friend. No, I wasn't. I was just complimenting your classmate, Koyomin. Yeah, like in anyone's head, if such mental gymnastics goes on that they can immediately think of and decode this code, that person needs more than an applause. She deserves to be, I don't know, like she deserves to get like some kind of medal or something. Good God. Like, imagine seeing all those letters and immediately like I guess like they're basically, she's basically a math student. Like I guess like it does make sense. Maybe like in her head she's like completely like like memorized, or not memorized, but she automatically knows like what 82 degree Fahrenheit is equal to. So as soon as she saw 82 and something else along with it, she immediately, her brain went like, oh, like this is Fahrenheit and this is Celsius. So maybe that's how it worked. Yeah, I guess it's doable if you're that, but still it's a pretty like leap in. And also the fact that the previous code was like all prime numbers and stuff, and now this is completely different. The fact that you can switch your mind like that, it's pretty damn impressive. Okay, right. Anyway, so now Guyan is like, yeah, so turns out there's no one in the roster, in the basketball girls club, the names with FC as a name initial. So there you go, that's that. Okay, so that was that. Then Araki says like, oh, why are you grumpy? Is there some kind of inconvenient news that came in? Okay, so yeah, the guy is like, no, but one of your words came true. I shouldn't have peeked inside a high school girl's cell phone. Now they kind of like, in this section they kind of like imply a few things which isn't really, they kind of don't really explain it, but if you know, like they kind of said this, like Kanbaru and Higasa, I think that was her name, they kind of said this before, that their club became extremely like weird, like they like were like going full crazy with that crazy schedule. They were trying to like reach Kanbaru's level of excellence, but nobody can, and they were all failing, but they were still like practicing like crazy. It was kind of like in a like they were kind of like in a like in a very weird type of situation they were in. So that is why, like Guyan, as it's been implied here, Guyan looked at the cell phones and found probably a few uncomfortable things in the cell phones, I'm assuming, related to the basketball club, I think. Here we go. Despite all the effort, I didn't have results to show, so I was able to lose hard. Okay, so yeah, so this is why Arag is like, Kanbaru used to have short hair when she was on our active roster. Like, do they all have same hairdos because they're in the basketball club, or they're trying to look like Kanbaru? That's the question. And I remember one of the very first episodes of this arc where they showed the two victims, the two girls who fell prey to this whole situation. They not only did wear their hair similar, but they also kind of looked similar, and they looked extremely like Kanbaru. So it's kind of weird, like weird to a certain degree, where you have such crazy fans that are actually trying to become like you, and it's not really unheard of. If there has been a few things like on YouTube, you'll probably see, you can literally search it on the internet and you'll find it, like people who are crazy fans of someone trying to become them to such a degree that they literally go for plastic surgery and like take a similar haircut, and like goes to like some crazy degree for becoming like the person that they adore, like absolutely insane stuff. So it doesn't surprise me, like that something like this is going on, that they're trying to become like Kanbaru. That's how much they like kind of like like, I guess because that's how hardcore fan they are of Kanbaru. Right. So they all looked alike? Question mark. Misago, Aburi, yeah, Kie, all of them. So Guyan is like, sheesh, after seeing such a murky set of relationships, I'm not even scared of vampires. She's like, bro, these humans are crazy. I'm not even afraid of vampires. These human relationships, especially in the girls' basketball club, absolutely insane. Though there is a fact that the girls' basketball team is a bit special. As an adult, I really didn't want to think that this is a general case, which, yeah, obviously, it's a curious extracurricular activity. It's like they were bullying themselves. Right. This isn't good. I stepped into a high school girls' colony without resolve. And Kagane will show up when I have my feet stuck in a bottomless pit. Okay, so that's that conversation. Okay, yeah, so now the conversation kind of steers to Kagenu. So Arag is like, but Kagenu listens to you. But she's like, yeah, but this situation is a bit different. Kagenu has a personal, like whatever, like a personal grudge or a vendetta or whatever, something like that, against Dystopia. So, even if we are able to like establish the fact to her that, oh, you know what, Dystopia isn't really dangerous and she's harmless, she probably still wouldn't listen because of her own personal grudge. And Aragi got surprised. Aragi's like, wow, even someone who's as clump of righteousness as Kaganu would also not, like, and she's like, yeah. Okay, so, like, Guyan kind of says here, like, how they can establish that Dystopia isn't really dangerous. So she says, if Dystopia reversed her age to a very young girl, we could acknowledge her as harmless. That's number one. Also, number two, in reality, Suicide Master didn't break the barrier by brute force. She was so weak that she fell through. That's number two. Okay, what else? Okay, number three, but even in such a state, she should be able to, no, okay, suck the blood of high school girls at the least. So just being in the town, there's no, okay, the prime suspect. Also, number three, they can say that, like, like, even though they don't know what actually happened to Destube, but they can say that, oh, she was so weak that she was trying to go to Hachikuji and fell unconscious midway due to anhydrobiosis. Put herself into anhydrobiosis. She's an anhydrobiotic hibernating napping vampire. She's not a threat, no problem. Okay. Yeah, and this is what she said. However, when it comes to Kageno, the same idea doesn't stand. Uh, Between the questionable suicide master and the problematic Kagenui. Yeah. Yeah, even if she didn't commit any crime this time around, it doesn't matter to Kagenui. Standing up for justice is the only thing that stopped that unorthodox Omyoji. But this time around, she might mobilize a person out of personal grudge. And this is where Kagenui says, like, I don't want that to happen, because if that happens, then I might have to excommunicate her as well, and I hate that. I'm assuming she's talking about, like obviously she's saying like she will have to excommunicate Kagenui, just like one of her other like person that she excommunicated. This other person, I'm guessing she's talking about Kaiki, because because that's what happened. Kaiki got excommunicated, didn't he? No, wait, no. Kaiki's fine. No, Tadasuru, I think. Yeah, that was his name, wasn't it? The dude in hell, who's like making origami. That guy, who's related to Ononoki. It's Tadasuru, isn't it? She excommunicated him. It wasn't Kaiki. Kaiki's still a specialist. Yeah. Okay, that was my mistake. I think she excommunicated him. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm making a mistake here. Either way, right. So this is where I is like, okay, so FC, maybe it's not some kind of initials, but some kind of abbreviation for English words. Okay, so this is where he comes to the fan club. FC means fan club, and it kind of like connects, because basketball club, there was Kanbaru's like like fan club, there was a fan club, so yeah. So Arag is like, now that I'm seeing how everyone has the same hairstyle, maybe this is like some kind of fan club thing going on, because they love Kanbaru so much, they try to become like Kanbaru. So its name was Kanbaru Swear. Okay, let our screaming souls reach Kanbaru for life. Kanbaru fan club, Kanbaru Swear. Only Surya wins. Crazy stuff. Yeah. Okay, so he's like, I'll talk to my sister. Little sister was pretty close to it, so I can ask her. Let me poke around a bit. And Gain is like, little sister? And he's like, oh, my little sister. Parenthetically the bigger one. And she's like, oh, Karen. Okay, yeah. Okay, I do wonder what, like obviously, like, we know Suki is with the whole Phoenix situation, but why did she react like that? Like, when she heard Karen's name, she was like, oh, Karen, okay, it's fine. If it was Suki, would she have said like, no, don't ask her or something? Maybe. I guess it's probably because of the fact that like Suki is like very unpredictable, and we all now know the reason why, like her eccentricity comes from is because of the Phoenix. Because when she like Phoenix resets everything, all the mental trauma and everything, so she never learns from her mistakes, that kind of thing. So she's always this crazy, like has a crazy persona, like a hysterical persona, as Aragi said before. She's my hysterical little sister. But is that because of that? I don't know. Or maybe it's because she's a Phoenix. I'm not really sure. But anyways, yeah, so he's like, okay, I'll do this and I'll do all of these, and maybe if I have time, I'll go and play with Oikura for a bit. Okay. Yeah, and then she says, oh, you go and home and take a nap as well. And then he goes home, takes a nap, and then when Karen comes back, he's like, oh, Karen, like, and I have a question for you. You know that fan club? What about that? Okay, so she says like, oh, it ended. The person in question retired, so they probably, like fell out of love. So, Yeah, so whether the prep is in girls basketball team or in the fan club doesn't make a difference in the fact that there's a chance the vampire is nonchalantly like, attending Naxa High School. Okay, so this is where he asks about Kanban, and he's like, oh, like how about your school life, like, and then he also asks about Fire Sisters, like what happened with that, because she retired, and she's like, oh, like Karen, Suki herself does the thing. She's the only member, I think she said. Suki is doing it by herself. She's doing her best as Moonfire or something. At first I was like, Moonfire, what type of name? And then I realized that Moon, because Suki means moon, so moon and fire from Fire Sisters, I guess. So Moonfire. Okay, so what I wanted to ask was, just like the girls basketball team, what happened after Kain and the central figure of core left? What kind of change did the Suganoki second middle school community undergo? Yeah, was there a turf war for the position of Suki's next partner or something? you know. Yeah, so she says like Suki is doing well regarding that. And she's like, yeah, Suki, he thinks of herself as special. Now, this is where we establish this, as Aragi says, that, like, since Suki thinks of herself as special, her situation is different from Kanbaru, who doesn't think of herself as special, but thinks like anyone will be able to do this, that kind of thing. Yeah, she thinks nobody else Suki thinks nobody else can do things like she does, myself included. Yeah, that's why she's just going on her own. And yeah, and this is where Aragi says that unlike Sukihi, Kanbaru is typical of superstars made from effort, has a very low self-esteem. Yeah, because she tried hard to reach this position, so that's why she always says that everyone can come to my position. Unlike Sukihi. So if I can do it, anyone can do it with enough effort. That is Kanbaru's motto. Right. Though we know that Kanbaru is not in the wrong, but this actually became a problem. This way of thinking. Here we go. This is what Aragi says. The current climate of the girls' basketball team has been created by such a faith in effort. Yeah, and right. Okay, so this is what what happens in the end. So basically, Aragi is saying, like, unlike Sukihi, who's more of like, oh, I'm special, this is only I can do, something like that. So because of her way of thinking is like that, he, like, her group or whoever's following her doesn't try to follow in her footsteps, because she herself has made it extremely clear that I'm special, you guys are plebs, you will never be able to reach me. So her followers or whatever who's in that group, they never try to reach her position, or that type of thing doesn't happen. What about Kanbaru though? She's completely opposite. Since she's been made from effort, she always tells everyone that, oh, you can do it as well, you can do it as well, and that's how she does that. So now that she has retired, the basketball club members who are made filled with people who have listened to Kanbaru up until now, their thought process is like, oh, we can become like Kanbaru. So everyone tries their best to do that, and they fails. As you can see, everyone has failed, and that's why this crazy amount of pressure. Like, they, in this basketball club, they have this crazy schedule. They think that, oh, if we do more practice, we can reach Kanbaru, but they're not able to reach Kanbaru, and nobody's able to reach Kanbaru. So they keep trying. So in a way, what Kanbaru did was obviously something very good. She said that, oh, everyone can do something like this, everyone can be like me, which is obviously something very good. She motivated everyone, but it kind of it got twisted after she left, and now everyone, even people who really cannot reach that position, they are forced to do it, because otherwise they won't be able to become like Kanbaru, and everyone thinks that everyone can become like her, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's that's why the whole basketball club and became like this. And this is what Guyan said, after reading the messages in the phone. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable with a few of the things. Yeah, okay. Right. So next we get to see they're going to the location. Hachiguchi is there. So Aragi is like Hachiguchi still hasn't found the fifth mummy. So an incident like this probably haven't happened. Like no more victim. Okay. So Hachiguchi says like even like I had searched every place. An incident like this would have never happened in the first place. It's not that I regret allowing Miss Suicide Master through without any security checks. No, wait, where's that part where she says, okay, wait a minute. Okay, someone calls her. Oh, okay, here we go. So Aragi says, was there any development from the phone call? And she's like, no development, but rather regression. Why regression? If we leave the initials FC aside, they finished the steamrolling investigation, yeah? But it seems everyone's safety has been confirmed. Aragi's like, isn't that a good news? And she's like, yeah. Okay, what part of the joyous news is regression? The fact that they're safe also means that they're innocent. As a result of the investigation, we made it clear none of the basketball team members are vampires. Yeah. So, and now there's no victim anymore. Yeah, so they're basically a stalemate. As Aragi says, we're back to square one. Yeah, so yeah, I was correct then. I was trying to think like what development we had from this episode, but no, the development kind of stopped in the middle. Now we're in a stalemate. We don't know what to do unless until we talk to Dystopia now, which we'll do next episode. So Kanbar gives her the home key, and she's like, oh, I'm going to a pajama party with Higasa. But in reality, it's not really a pajama party in that sense. It's basically the alumni of the basketball clubs will come there and they'll have a conversation about the whole situation. Right, so now we have brought Dystopia inside the place, and she's like in the middle, and everyone's getting ready. Gain comes in, and Gain has brought Gain made like a barrier, and she has brought like sake as well. Right. What's with the large bottle? Wine would be better for a vampire, but she brought sake. Yeah, and this is where she's like, oh damn, I never really thought that I had to come back to my sister's place like this. Yeah, and she starts dropping the sake. Okay, now Aragi and Shinobu has a conversation. So Aragi tries to call her like, oh, Shinobu-sama, and Shinobu doesn't really reply because she didn't realize and she's not used to her talking like that. So then she's like, oh yeah, and then she also reverts back to her way of speaking, but then she corrects herself. Okay, so Aragi's question is that may I ask you of something? Okay, which is, I hadn't thought of this too deeply up until now. What does it feel like to live for 600 years? Right. So Aragi asks a very good question here. He's like, like I'm a human, or at least I was a human, and as a human, within this little amount of time, a lot of experiences changed me. For example, if you remember, I didn't want friends, I got disillusioned with friends, all that stuff happened, and now fast forward to a few years later, I have a completely different like way of looking at this whole situation, and that's why I was able to make friends in university. So we changed so much in these few years. What about a vampire who has been living for 600 years? What type of change does they go through? If my own experience is so crazy, I've exchanged so much. What about long living creatures? Now, this is a very interesting question. This is something that is brought up in a lot of shows, like, in shows where there's characters who are long living. For example, Free Ren, and, like a few other shows like where, like, there's like long living elves or like long living creatures, which is like the fact that they always highlight how human beings, since they have like short amount of life, their life is more vibrant. Since they don't have much long to live, they live their life like the last day, every day like their last day, and that is why they're able to like advance so quickly, because they don't have much time, and they're proactive, that kind of thing. Unlike elves and like vampires, they're just like they can live forever, so they're like, oh, like, yeah, they don't really do much, so they don't progress in that sense. So this has been brought up everywhere, like, and in a way, Shinobu also says the same thing here. She's like, this part was kind of funny where they showed all the light novel. I think those are all the light novel covers going one after the other, or like maybe they were like all the official arts. No, not light novel covers. Sorry, these are like the anime covers. I think anime Blu-ray covers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure something like that, or like official art or something. That was pretty funny. Yeah, yeah. So Shinobu says, like, first and foremost, we are not humans. You know. Okay, where's that part? I'm going to read this section. Yeah, I have severed like a lot of my past one after the other. In the first place, apparitions are unchanging and universal before they are immortal, which is true. They never change. They don't continuously change like humans do. Right. So this is why Aragi says. So now the question, since you said like immortals are unchanging, I asked you a question back in the spring break. I asked you, like, what do you think of humans? What are humans to you? You said this to me very clearly, without hesitating. They're food. What about now? What if I ask you the same question now? Yeah, right. So the conversation is interrupted. I do wonder what Shinobu had to say about that, because which is true. She herself said, like, we are apparition, we are like unchanging, we don't change. But Aragi is 100% sure, or at least I'm also pretty sure, that Shinobu's answer has changed a lot from that day, when she said that, oh, human beings are food. So, that kind of question. Like, I don't know where Aragi is trying to go with this, but I think I can understand what, like, he's talking about, like, like creatures like them who are living for so long, can they, like, like as Shinobu says, they're unchanging, but Aragi is trying to, I don't know, probably say that no, they're not. It probably depends on the situation. At least that's what I think, because Shinobu's situation was she got entangled with Aragi, and that's why she also changed, or I guess you could say coming in contact with a being who constantly changes, a mortal being like Aragi. Maybe she also changed, so an external influence, an influence from a mortal being, like she also became that. And first and foremost, she was from birth she was a mortal, but then she changed, to a vampire, and then she became unchanged because she became a long living creature. But then she came in contact with Aragi, so now she is again like changing, or her, like that kind of thing. She's so external influence matters. If there was someone with dystopia who was of, I guess you could say, who was a mortal, then maybe dystopia would have also changed. In a way, if you think about it, that actually did happen. When Princess Acerala came in contact with dystopia. Princess Acerala was a human back then. So I guess you can think about it, like, if you remember, yeah, dystopia did change back then when she came in contact with Acerala. Acerala being a human, just like how Shinobu came in contact with Aragi, and because of his influence, Shinobu also changed. You can also say the same thing for dystopia, where dystopia came in contact with Shinobu or Acerala at that point of time, and she also changed. A lot of her, like things changed, and she went through a drastic change then. That kind of thing. So yeah, that's the thing. Basically, like, you might be unchanging, but your external influence that you have can change you actually, or make you change. Anyways, so yeah, the conversation gets interrupted. Gain like does like a little incantation or whatever, and crazy. You can see Gain is actually sweating here when she sees Dystopia come back to life. I've never seen Gain sweat. She's always like, "Oh, I'm the person who knows everything." And oh boy, like this arc has been crazy. Like, I've never, in this arc, I don't think I've ever heard a guy say that word. Like, where she always says, like, I know everything. That whole thing. She's never said it at all. Like, she herself is stumped in this whole situation. And yeah, and now you can see she's actually genuinely sweating in front of Dystopia. Bro, Okay, and then Dystopia comes to life and looks at Shinobu, and she starts like laughing, ha ha ha, and Shinobu also starts laughing, ha ha ha, and and as we all know, like Dystopia herself told Shinobu that when you are genuinely happy, laugh with a ha 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 instead of a ka ka ka. And yeah, and finally, the Dystopia is like, both of them laugh, and then Dystopia is like, seems like I've died yet again, the word she always says after coming back to life. And then she's like, oh, Shinobu's like, both of us have aged, haven't we? Right. Yeah, two young girls have been reunited for the first time in 600 years. And that's where it ended. So yeah, there you go. That was today's episode. Good episode. Next episode, I'm guessing we'll get more information from Dystopia, and we'll see what happens. So that is it, guys. Thank you for watching. This was my reaction to episode 12 of Monogatari Off and Monster Season. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Monogatari. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.